welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
And across the table every week, I'm Epic Lloyd here in my back office, aka the Dope Ass Studio, and it's Kings of Influence every Wednesday at noon. Now, usually, you could text us, and we'll send you a text to let you know when we're about to go live. But we have good news. We're so popular that we've run out of text numbers. Is this what's happened?
We run out of text credits, so we got to bump up our credits. We just didn't have time before we jumped on.
We're on the street. We're basically in debt to the credit card companies for texts, just joking.
Must be it.
Yeah. Normally, if you want to take a number down, you can take the number down 43506, and normally you could text the word Kings to that number 43506, and we'll send you a text. If you want to do that for next week, we'll get all set and ready to go. If you don't get a text this week, fear not, we just grew too much.
All kinds of technical issues today. So Katie's not with us.
That's true. That's a technical issue.
She passed.
No, God.
No. She had to audition for, I don't know. She's trying to join the Church of Scientology, and she has to, go speak in front of them and
make a presentation.
Agree to give up all her possessions, and
she has a personal one-on-one with Tom Cruise.
Exactly. No, she said she had an audition for some TV show or something, so she had to miss it. But she is with us in spirit.
She will be here again next week, we think, but we can't tell. She's a loose cannon. So other than that, we're pretty good. We're doing well. We're back here. I'm still on Sober September, which is going well. My eyes feel bright. My tail is bushy. I feel like I could see the difference in my face, to be honest with you. I lost a couple of pounds about 2 years ago, and I noticed that. And then now when I jump on this camera, I just kind of feel like I look better. I don't know if it's real or not, but my eyes look whiter.
Your eyes look whiter?
Yeah, like not wide, white. Like the whiteness looks whiter. Like I'm not tired. You know what I mean?
And do you think that's because you're high all the time?
No.
And you got stoner eyes, and then when you just stop smoking?
I honestly feel like it has to do with the quality of sleep. Like when you drink alcohol and you go to sleep, your body is still processing that the whole time that you're sleeping. So you're asleep, but your body is still working, so you're not getting as much like rest. So I feel like I'm resting better. I'm definitely waking up, and I don't feel as groggy when I wake up. So that's a nice feeling.
Yeah, not hungover.
Yeah, and it's also boring as sin. This is so boring. I've never stayed home so many nights in my entire life.
Well, you gotta play with your Oculus, your VR, man.
Yeah, I have been doing that.
So in Sober September, you don't go out to the bars at all, or do you go out and just not partake?
Yeah, I can go. Like I went and watched football on Sunday and just drank iced tea all afternoon.
Oh God!
Like, I went to a show on Monday night and just had water. It's fine. It's just like a part of I don't consume alcohol and weed and stuff because it's like I need it to feel better. I do it because I enjoy the heightened sense of connection it makes me have with people, camaraderie, and it lubricates conversation.
Makes you more social.
Yeah, I'm not shy, but it's like salt and pepper it's like the spice on a meal, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's why. So it's fine. I'll be good. I'll be all right.
So what's the point of Sober September?
Just got to show booze who's boss. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. I think that's good for people.
Yeah.
All your vices, whatever they are, big or small, whether it's alcohol, weed, coffee, salt, whatever it is, like just try and give it up for a month and just see how you feel.
Just to make sure I could do it.
Yeah.
That's scary when you feel like you can't. And I was telling you before, I'm the type of person where I don't set a lot of goals and make a lot of promises to myself, because when I do, I really make sure that I keep them, because if I break my word to myself, I feel awful about it, So I would rather be like, yeah, I'll try to not drink so much. I'll say that rather than be like, I'm not gonna, and then break it. That's no good.
Well, so how powerful do you feel once you're starting to pull it off? Because when you go without drinking for like the first or second time that you're offered, or that you're in a situation where you could drink, it like probably feels pretty good. But once you're like 5, 6, 7 days in, and you're like, I've turned it down a couple of times, it starts to feel powerful, doesn't it? You're like, I am master of my domain.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
I control me, not everything else.
I rule over you, Bud Light.
I am the law.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels great, and it gets easier. It gets easier in terms of like, yeah, I'm gonna go out to this restaurant, or I'm gonna go out to this bar, or whatever. You know, for me, what makes it easier is I really like why I talk about it on here is I vocalize it. I let
Okay.
people know that that's what I'm doing for the month, so it sort of enrolls them so that there's no pressure there. Like I don't really give a shit about peer pressure, but it's certainly a little bit tougher if someone's like, "Oh man, come on!" I don't need to have that. So I just try to be as vocal as I can about it, and my friends who are cool, they usually just jump on board.
That's good. Those are the worst people. Not the people who jump on board, but the people that are like, "Come on, man,
Yeah, yeah,
come and have a drink." Like, no, man, I'm trying to get myself under control. I got other stuff going on.
I'm doing a thing.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Oh Lord,
yeah. So
goodness.
feeling good.
Did you hear? We got another Hollywood reboot in the making. You ready for this?
Hit me.
Face Off.
No,
Yeah.
really?
They just announced it. They are rebooting Face Off, the old one with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
The ridiculous, improbable, this could never happen movie. Like, this could never happen in real life. Cinematic experience is being rebooted. I don't know if I want to see it without Travolta and Cage.
Right. That was I liked that movie. I thought that was a good movie.
That's because we were teenagers when it came out. Probably.
I remember being like, I remember they each kind of did an impression of the other one.
Yeah.
For a while, and then it sort of faded away.
Yeah.
Like you could see Nick Cage trying to do his Travolta,
Yeah.
and the other way around. I don't know who would be easier. Like if you had to do an impression of Nicolas Cage or John Travolta, who would you pick? They're both pretty big characters.
Probably Cage, I would think.
You
I've
think?
never tried to impersonate either of them, but I guess I would do Cage just because he stands out more in my mind.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't there a scene in that where one of them who's posing as the other one sleeps with the other one's
Oh,
wife?
yeah.
So it's
Oh,
totally rape.
Totally right.
Wow.
Totally right.
Wow.
You know Wax, right? He has it's not a really funny joke, but it's a joke. He's a twin.
I've heard it. Yeah.
For all you listeners out there.
Yeah.
He says he has a song about being a twin or whatever, and he's like, yeah, the most things, the thing that people ask me the most is like, hey man, when you have a girlfriend, do you guys like totally switch and like sleep with each other's girlfriend? And he's like, you mean rape?
I think he like opens with that joke, and I laugh every time.
It's like, so because you think about it and you're like, oh yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
rape.
Sex under false pretenses.
Oh my gosh. Who's gonna be the cast?
Well, they haven't announced that they haven't gotten that far yet. But it made me want to ask you: is there anything? Because we have to submit to the fact that there are going to be many reboots
Yeah.
and remakes. Like, I hate to be like, get over it,
Yeah.
because we all complain about it. But at the same time, it's like, well, that's what people are funding, and that's what people are watching. It's making the market move, so might as well lean into it. Is there anything you want that you would like to see rebooted if they're gonna do it?
Rebooted.
Yeah. New cast, updated
I would
story.
like to see a Thundercats movie.
Oh, that's not bad.
A live action or like CGI Thundercats movie, I think would be pretty badass.
Yeah.
But done well. You know what I mean? Like I like kids stuff that's made for adults. So like for example, here's something that just came out that I thought was excellent. The new Dark Crystal on Netflix is excellent.
I'll have to check that out.
It's excellent. It's not a reboot, so they didn't remake the movie. They made a 10 episode series of prequels.
Yeah.
Because there's so much lore in the movie of what had happened in the past, and it's all puppets, and it's like, I mean, Simon Pegg is in it, and the guy who played Elton John in that new movie, he's like the main voice, and it's all these, and Mark Hamill is in it.
Nice.
It's awesome. So they don't always screw it up. I was nervous about that one. So anyway, I'd like to see the Thundercats. I think I would like to a reboot.
How about this one? How about Never Ending Story?
Yeah.
It's like I don't want them to ruin it, but like I would kind of like to see an updated, modern version of that.
I mean, they did make they made 2 sequels to that movie.
I know,
which
and
were just
which is really bad.
A new one might be cool. Which immediately makes me think of Labyrinth.
Oh God, yeah. Why they got to remake Labyrinth.
But it's like that was the thing about Dark Crystal, is like that's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna remake it, the thing they did well with the new Dark Crystal is they didn't remake the new one. They told more of the story. So
Yeah.
I think seeing Neverending Story where the kids all grown up, kind of like they did with the Winnie the Pooh movie where it's like the Winnie the Pooh kids all
Yeah.
grown up, something like that. Or what about like regular normal movies? I think like Commando. I don't
Oh,
know.
no. No.
Yeah. Commando was my shit.
Yeah, it was cheesy 80s action.
So, but Arnold Schwarzenegger makes
Yeah, right.
everything okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, man.
Yeah, yeah. So how about this? Do you remember Monster Squad? Nah, if you don't remember it, never mind.
No, no. I remember Monsters Inc. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I wouldn't want him to reboot Monsters Inc. How about Fifth Element? A new Fifth Element might be cool.
Yeah.
Fifth Element was a great movie.
Fifth Element was a great movie. That was Chris Tucker, maybe his best role.
Yeah, absolutely his best role.
Yeah.
Way out of his
amazing
comfort
in
zone,
that.
and he was great.
Yeah. I like that movie a lot. They're making a new Matrix. We already talked about that. They got, I'd see the new Rambo movie is coming out. Like, ugh, that new Rambo movie looks awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care to see a new Rambo.
Yeah, new
How-
Terminator. No.
How about Logan's Run,
Logan's Run.
starring Logan Paul?
Heyo.
Logan's Run is the movie where they euthanize people over a certain age, I believe. So the society's like really young.
Oh, I thought it was a comedy.
No, it's like a 70s sci-fi movie if I'm remembering it correctly.
Mm.
And then there's like the outlaws of the movie have like aged out just a little bit, and so they're
Wow.
on the run or something like that.
You know what? I keep on thinking of movies that they should reboot, and then I'm like, oh, they already did that. Oh, they already did like The Thing or like the Mel Gibson one, Mad Max. Here's one.
Okay.
There is a like low budget niche Rutger Hauer movie called The Blood of Heroes, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a post-apocalyptic movie about this really violent sport.
Okay.
And it's just a great movie. I would love to see a reboot of that. And because Rutger Hauer just died too, but it's like, so it's, the world, it's like the same, it's sort of like Mad Max, just everything's dusty and sort of dry and dead and shit, and it's all back to archaic. But this sport is essentially, it's sort of like lacrosse, sort of like football, where you have these different positions, and the one position they call it the quick, and you have to take a dog skull and like shove it on a spike on the opposite teams. So you have a spike on your side that you defend, I have a spike on mine, and each team has a quick, and that's the person who runs with the dog skull. Then there's like two, they call it jugging, and like you have two guys with like big poles that like they're almost like your offensive line, and then one guy's got this like crazy like chain that they swing around. It's awesome. It's
I'm sorry, a dog skull?
a dog skull.
They killed a dog?
Well, there might be already dead dogs, but
Oh my
look
God.
it up, dude. It's a good ass movie. It is a cool ass movie.
All right.
The Blood of Heroes, you guys, check it out.
Blood of Hero.
Yeah.
All right. What about Revenge of the Nerds?
I think they did that.
You think they could update that franchise?
That movie, also rape.
Yeah, totally.
Also rape. That was the first naked vagina I ever saw on television.
Oh, that's a good. You got your fond memories of that movie.
Naked vagina.
I didn't even remember there were nudity in that movie.
Like that's like, you look at 80s comedies and you're like, this is all illegal. Like they're like spying on women like
Yeah.
without their consent. They're fucking raping them and stuff. You're like, what? No wonder why like dudes are like twisted. They're watching this on TV like Porky's and
It's-
stuff.
yeah.
It's like craziness.
Animal House. Yeah, like it's comedy.
Yeah.
That would never fly today.
No, I mean, and should not.
Right. there
Like
you
you're
go.
not supposed to do that stuff.
All right. What about Police Academy? What about a new Police Academy with a completely new
Oh, yeah. Bill Hader and
squad?
Bill Hader in Police Academy. would be
Yeah,
amazing.
that'd be really funny.
Yeah,
I
Bill Hader
totally
would be
agree.
great. Yeah, comedies are fun. Bringing back comedies with the new comedians. Like, I mean, they messed Ghostbusters up real bad.
Yeah, I didn't see it
Oh, it was bad.
because I heard it was bad.
It was really bad. Which says to me that like doesn't matter how talented the cast is, they could still mess it up.
Right.
Like the cast was great. Like how are you gonna get better than them? But yeah, what else would be good? What about like Breakin'?
What's breaking?
That like breakdancing movie. Remember Breakin'?
No.
Oh man, Turbo and Ozone? Hell yeah.
No.
Yeah. They could do some amazing stuff with the breakdancers they have today, because this was like the early 80s when breaking was just like the big thing was like a moonwalk or something.
Okay.
And now the way like breakdancing is going to be in the Olympics. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah. The next Olympics, Summer Olympics, is breakdancing is in the Olympics.
How do you judge? I guess.
It's the same as ice skating or gymnastics or something.
Oh, it's like you judge on form and.
Yeah, you judge like each skill. I mean, they just codify every skill and give it a difficulty rating, and then I'm sure there's like a category for like artistic prowess, or like there's almost like an etc category of like, man, that just had flair. That's what they used to call it in gymnastics, was flair,
Okay.
or virtuosity they called it. Of like, okay, you do a move and I do a move, and you keep your feet straight and pointed, and I keep my feet straight. We both do it technically correct, but something about yours just looked easier, or just looked effortless, or more weightless, stuff like that. So yeah, I think the next Olympics has breakdancing in it.
Oh my god.
I'll watch that. Hell yeah, I would watch that before fucking swimming. Ugh.
You couldn't pay me to watch the Olympics.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, I just don't.
Yeah,
I'm just not that much of a nationalist to be like, "Go USA." Nah, I don't care.
yeah. I just like watching men's field hockey.
Is that I like watching curling where they
Yeah.
sweep the floor
Yeah,
really
yeah.
quick.
Dude, when we would tour in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and that's big up there. They have like curling
Like at the
arenas.
local bar and
No, it's like they have like teams in high school and in
oh,
college and stuff.
wow.
You go on a curling scholarship. It's nuts.
Like the curling guys, like the hottest guy in the
Yeah,
school.
right.
Oh my god, I heard he curls.
Look at Johan.
Oh, look at that sweeping motion he makes.
There's actually a documentary about curling on Netflix, which is like the best curlers of all time. You're like, wow, they can make anything look interesting in a documentary.
Yeah, of course. All right, one more. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. Again, nearly perfect movie.
I know, but it's like I said, as long as they're remaking stuff,
Yeah.
might as well. Because if we're going by perfect movie, I'm like, well, you might as well remake Back to the Future with all new special effects, which I think is a nearly perfect movie,
Yeah.
nearly perfect franchise. But like, why not?
Yeah, that's a
Or
franchise that did it right. They did 3 great movies and then they got the hell out.
like go back into that world and have Michael J. Fox be the new Doc, sort of,
Oh, that'd be fun.
right? And then have like a younger
That'd be
Back
fun.
to the Future whippersnapper.
I mean, what about a new somebody was talking to me about a new like Ernest? Like Ernest Goes to Camp or whatever. I think that guy died though. Or like bring back Pee Wee
Yeah.
Herman.
Yeah, he I forget his real name, but he died.
Yeah, I think it was like mouth cancer or something.
And so
Ugly.
I would say no to Ernest because
Yeah.
he was that entire franchise.
Yeah. Well, they're bringing back Bill and Ted's. They're bringing back Top Gun.
Well, all those actors are still alive.
Yeah. 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 I'm just saying it gets hard to find one that they're not already doing.
That's true.
You know, like what else?
Goonies?
Are they bringing Goonies back?
No, I'm saying they could.
Oh.
I don't know if I would want to see it, but you could make Goonies for like modern day teens, I guess.
I mean, you could go through that whole like 16 Candles, Weird Science,
Yeah.
Better Off Dead. That was such a good movie though, and they're all so reliant on pivotal performances. Like that's John Cusack in a pivotal performance in like Better Off Dead or
Yeah.
or like Say Anything. It's just
But if you're gonna reboot something, you got to go for the franchise. Otherwise, you're wasting your money.
yeah.
Like they rebooted it, knowing that they were gonna do some couple more
Yeah.
sequels or whatever,
Yeah.
knowing that it could be a franchise. And I think that's the smart move. The whole reason why they're doing reboots is because that's where the money's at right now. And it's I think it's I mean, of course they're greedy because people who invest are naturally greedy, and that's fine. But I think it's more about your sort of Better Off Dead type movies of today just aren't performing well at the box office. They go straight to Netflix.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
hard for them to make money.
That's super bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like those are the movies that are like like even Get Out. Even it's a horror, not a comedy. But
Yeah.
that cost $4 million and it made like $90 million.
Yeah.
Something like that. So,
But the risk on that is so high. It's like the
but it's
odds.
not. If it's $4 million, it's not.
Yeah. But I'm saying like you got to make 100 Get Outs to get one result like that.
Yeah,
Like
sure,
you
sure,
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if we knew that it was going to be a hit, then it would be like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're going to invest
That's why
in
they
it.
do the reboots, because you get people there just based on the brand recognition.
But
But then you never get stuff like The Boys. That's why I appreciate Amazon, and that's why I think Netflix
Boys
is
is great.
struggling, is because Amazon now is, and they have another one now. What is it?
Carnival Row.
Carnival Row. Pretty
I
good.
heard about
I'm
it.
enjoying it.
I
I'm
didn't see
enjoying it, and they're both original, and they're both like. That's where I want to see next season, and those are your tentpole series.
Right. Well, all the interesting stuff is being done in TV right now.
Oh my god, yeah. I will say though, the
Yeah.
new It was good. It was about 25 minutes too long.
Okay.
But it was great. And the reason it was great, A, it's scary as,
Yeah.
and B, they didn't try to make Pennywise the same as Tim Curry. You're not going to do it.
Right.
He's his own thing, and he's creepy as hell, and it is a completely different take on that character, and it's amazing. And Bill Hader is great. I'm a
I'm
big
told. I'm told. I'm a huge Bill Hader fan, and I'm told that's like one of his best roles.
Yeah. I mean, in a
I haven't
movie,
even seen
yeah,
it.
he's great. He's just very normal. He's just somebody said I heard an interview about him, and I think it was Lauren Michaels compared him to Bill Murray, which I was like, yeah,
Yeah, I
like
could see that.
funny in a sort of effortless, offbeat kind of way where he's not necessarily trying that hard to be funny. He just is a
Yeah.
funny person, and with heart, never mean spirited, never like Will Ferrell. He's kind of jabbing you most of the time. It's like a status play
Yeah.
sometimes. Still very funny,
Yeah.
but he's usually high status, jabbing you down. Same like Dane Cook or any of these dudes.
Right.
But Bill Hader is your buddy. You would hang out with him. That's the same as
And
Murray.
and like Bill Murray, he's also an excellent actor
Yeah.
and underutilized as an actor in most roles. I think most roles don't stretch him as far as I believe he could go
Yeah.
in the stuff. I'm a huge Bill Hader fan, so I actually pay attention to the stuff he acts in.
I mean, Barry is one of my favorite series.
Barry's great.
Yeah.
Did you see Skeleton, the one he did with Kristen Wiig, where he played the gay guy,
No.
the gay brother? It's great. I mean, he's great in it.
Yeah.
It's an indie. I want to tell you about this new genre of rap, and because I know you're a rap fan.
What?
There's a new subgenre of rap. It's called scam rap. It's it was
Okay.
born out of Detroit,
Okay.
and in scam rap, a bunch of young dudes rap about Bitcoin and credit card fraud
Hmm.
and swipe fraud, and it's like a thing. That's like the new.
They're talking about how they are committing this. Like that's the crime they're committing. Like
Some of them go through it step by step. It's like they're not rapping; they're just admitting to felonies or something,
wow,
confessing to
that's
felonies.
crazy. Really?
Yeah,
And these must be smart kids. You don't just
maybe.
you don't just steal bitcoins. Like it's not as easy as like robbing a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I don't know if they're rapping about stealing Bitcoin, but they're rapping about like credit card scams. They're definitely rapping about Bitcoin, and it's an interesting take on it. It's an interesting take for a couple of reasons because you and I grew up with rap that like they described drug deals and they described gang activity, and we sort of accepted it,
Yeah.
and we were like, yeah, that's the life,
The rules of the street.
right? And now this subgenre of rappers, they're rapping about credit card fraud.
That's the
Like
rules.
that's the life, and because when I first heard about it, I was like, "Oh, that feels kind of gross and dirty and shallow." And you're describing these crimes, these sort of white collar crimes, and then I thought, well, that's kind of the way they used to do it, just differently.
Right. I'm sure these people look much different. Like just in terms of I think that the look of rappers is changing always.
Yeah,
There's always the fashion and rap kind of go hand in hand. But that's interesting. Is it like SoundCloud rappers? Is that where this music is popping up?
I
or is
think
it
so.
like-
I think so. I read some articles about it. I didn't see any of it on SoundCloud, but I went and checked at least like the top guy, and I can't remember his name, but I went and looked up his top song.
Yeah.
To see kind of what it was about and everything. And I got to say, it's awful. I'm not trying to say that as like an old man who's like, "Meh, these kids don't know real rap music or anything." Like, I get that there's always a new sound, but I'm listening to it going like, man, this guy, I mean, he needs to scam because he's not good at rapping. Like, he's rapping so offbeat.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like he rapped, like, it literally sounded like he rapped a cappella.
And then just put a beat under
And
it.
then just copy pasted it on top of a beat because it sounds so offbeat. And even the hook was offbeat. And then I looked at something else by him, and that was also off rhythm.
Weird.
And I'm like, is this a style? Because it doesn't. I've seen like Kendrick Lamar and some of these guys and RZA do that as a style, and it works
Yeah.
because they're doing it with so much. I hate to call off rhythm finesse, but they're doing it a certain way. And this guy just seemed like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Did you is it also a style of music, or is the style driven by the content of what they're rhyming about, or does it have a sound?
It didn't sound that different from other stuff I've heard.
Right.
The thing that really stood out to me, and I don't know if I'll have to listen to some more Scam Rap, is how offbeat he was.
Scam Rap. We have to have people in the comments look up a link for us and post it in the comments or something so we can listen to
I don't know if you're allowed to post links in the comments,
Oh,
but
or
definitely
pages.
look up Scam Rap on YouTube or something, and some of the guys will come up and you can listen to their stuff. It didn't have like a unique sound to me, but I guess that's the thing.
I mean, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I was just in a video about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I played Hamilton and I rap battled Timothy De La Ghetto as Satoshi. He's like the inventor of Bitcoin.
Nice.
And it's doing well. The video is doing pretty well. People are. I mean, I think cryptocurrency is gonna. It's here to stay. I think it's here to stay, regardless.
I agree with you, and here's why. Because Facebook is inventing their own cryptocurrency. They're working on it now. They announced it.
Right.
And that's really going to solidify the cryptocurrency and its place in our society, because that they're a giant.
Yeah. And I also, what sold me was when I saw all the like money TV shows cover the crypto every week.
Yeah.
It's like, here's what's going on in crypto, and all these guys are talking about it. The video that we did, they actually gave away a Bitcoin. It was sponsored by this guy Reed, who's like big up in that world. Like, he either invented one, or like either Litecoin or Dash or one of these companies. He's like big up in there. But they gave away a Bitcoin, or they're gonna give away like a Bitcoin, split it in half, and it's worth like $10,000 or something.
Wow.
I was like, damn, one coin is worth $10,000. Imagine you invested in that. That's why everybody was driving into there early, because imagine you invested in that shit when it was like $3 a coin, and you bought like 200 of them.
Yeah, what is it? What is it now? Is it like $5 a coin? I don't know.
No, it's $10,000 per coin.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, one coin. It's like $9,800 or something.
No, that's not the price of Bitcoin. Oh, where the hell's Katie so we can look up the price of Bitcoin?
I know. No, I'm serious.
$10,000?
I think it's up there. Yeah.
I don't think that's it. Somebody in the comments look up the current price of Bitcoin.
Look up that Bitcoin
as we sit right now and tell me what it is.
I can use my phone.
$10,000. That's more than the Dow, dude. That's more than the Dow. There's no way. It's
what's
like
the Dow?
It's like $10. The Dow's like 2,500, I think, right now. Something like that.
One Dow coin. I'm gonna look this up.
No, you have one Dow share.
Bitcoin value. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. Here we go. Drum roll.
$10,071.
$10,000 for one?
Yep.
There's no way.
Bam. Dude.
Let me see that. Let's wait.
Telling you.
Bitcoin value.
So yeah, if you guys remember this,
United States dollars.
Find the Hamilton versus Satoshi rap battle online, and then you gotta like leave a comment or like read the directions or whatever.
So how do you buy what? So people don't buy one; they buy like a fraction of one. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
That's what I was saying. That's why it's such a big deal that they like are giving away a whole one, because first of all, it tells you how rich the guys that made the video are.
Yeah,
and then secondly, it's just they're valuable. But yeah, people will buy like 1/10 of the Bitcoin, or like they chop it up into smaller.
That makes more sense, because you see like the guy at the bar who works in finance.
Yeah,
over at the place next door, and he's talking about Bitcoin, and I'm just like, you can't afford a $10,000 Bitcoin.
Well, not now. Oh yeah, you're saying like, yeah, if he broke it up, he would be able to buy.
Yeah, but like you can buy a fraction.
Yeah,
which you can't do with stocks.
Sure,
or not that I'm aware of.
You know who I think is really into it is Matthew Santoro. He I did his podcast, and he's like really into it.
He's really into Bitcoin.
I think he got in early. Good for you, Matt.
Yeah, good for him.
Your drinks are on you in October when I'm done. Well, yeah, man. I mean, cryptocurrency here to stay. Scam rappers. I'm gonna have to check it out. I guess.
I think you're gonna be I'll play you something after the podcast's over. I don't want to stop the podcast and go and search. It'll take too long.
Sure.
But I'll play you something, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's getting attention because of what it's about, not because it's like any good."
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, you know what time? Okay, so our sound effects board is like not working. So let's do the Stoner Thoughts sound effects ourselves and play Stoner Thoughts.
All right, cool.
All right, guys, you ready to play Stoner Thoughts? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Stoner Thoughts.
Oh, that hurt my ears. Whoa.
If a pet has stayed with you their full life, then from their point of view, you have always existed and always will exist. Is that blowing your mind?
I think that's the same way for anything, though, right? Like if your dad and your mom, like if you die before your dad, then your dad has always existed and will
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah. But
exist.
you didn't believe that your
Oh,
dad
right.
would
Yeah.
always exist. So
Yeah.
your dog believes that you will always
Yeah.
exist.
Fair enough. That one's pretty good. I like it. Unless animals are more advanced than us and they're just faking it.
Well,
Imagine if they're much smarter than us and they're just faking it.
well, you know that thing that they say about cats, right?
No.
So
But I'm sure
your
you do.
dog, yeah, your dog thinks that you're a god, right? You bring him food, you do all that stuff. So your cat, you feed your cat or like you feed a dog and your dog is like, "Wow, he brought me food. He must be a god."
Yeah.
You feed your cat and your cat is like, "Wow, he brought me food. I must be a god."
Yes.
There it is.
That's great. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So your dog thinks that you're the highest of all power. Maybe that's why people like pets.
Yeah.
It's like the highest on the food chain they'll ever be.
I like pets because it's like better than kids. It's like low impact kids. It's still a pain in the ass a lot of times,
Oh yeah.
but it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. Like my this is so dark, but my dog died last July and it hurt. But
Yeah.
if that was my daughter,
Whoa. That's dark.
you know, what
That
I'm
is dark.
saying? Ugh.
That is dark.
Yeah.
You know me. I absolutely love cats. I have so much pet love to give, and
Yeah.
not enough time to have that many pets. I wish I had like more hands so I could pet more cats. Like I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
I do.
And I don't like them to think that I'm a god. I actually like them to need me. I'm that guy.
You like to be needed?
Yeah, like when my cat meows to go out on the balcony or something, I'm like, oh yeah. Or my cat wakes me up in the morning, I'm like, oh yeah, he wants me to pet him.
Oh my god.
He needs me.
I hate being needed. I hate being needed.
By humans, I do, but not by cats.
Oh, right. Like when my cat meows at me, I try to like kick it off the bed if I can.
Oh God.
Not an actual kick, but more of a thrust.
A human needs me. I'm like, dude, can't you get it yourself?
Yeah.
Aren't you an adult?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Get out of here, stupid human.
Stupid humans.
Dumb human. All right.
Stoner thoughts. That was better.
You can accidentally make a human being, but you can't accidentally bake a cake. It's funny how that works.
So yeah, that works. Yeah, that is funny. Gosh. That was like my number one priority high school, college.
Don't get pregnant.
Don't get somebody pregnant. That's what just don't get anybody pregnant.
That's a good point.
That was all I was worried about. Just don't get them pregnant. Might be why I didn't ever want kids. Just grained that to my heart. And like the first time I ever had sex, we had like a weird pregnancy scare. It's probably too much information.
Go ahead.
But like the very first time, it was like a thing, and I was like in a sophomore in high school. I was like,
Oh my God.
my life is over. And
You were getting laid in high school?
well, not a lot, but
So,
some.
okay. So I'm guessing like your parents instilled that, like maybe your dad or someone instilled that in you and was like, don't get anyone pregnant. And that kind of put that fear into you.
I think so. Like I think it was my dad. I mean, it wasn't my dad. My dad loves kids. My mom loves kids, so it
Okay.
wasn't like they hated children at all. I think for me, I'm not sure what it was. I think it might have maybe because my little brother was born, and as an 8-year-old, I experienced a newborn in the house, which is old enough. I remember it. I know how much work it took. My parents were really good at it, but it was I don't know. I really don't know where that came from, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I say that because I think it's funny and messed up when parents are like, don't ever get pregnant to their own kid.
Yeah.
Like it was the worst mistake of their life.
Yeah, totally.
Don't ever get pregnant. Don't wear a condom.
Yeah.
Don't ever have kids.
My parents were really like not open about sex, but they knew it was going to happen, and they were much more about like use protection, be educated, make good decisions. It was that.
Ah.
And it was definitely like, yeah, don't get anybody pregnant, because I think probably if the choice was made to terminate the pregnancy, they would have supported that, but it was like you might not be able to make that call. You know what I mean? As a young man, and some of my girlfriends in high school, I think they were very big on like if I get pregnant, I can't terminate this, so we will not be getting pregnant. You know what I
Whoa.
mean? Stuff like that.
Man, so I was raised by a combination of my grandparents and my mom, and none of them ever told me that.
Really?
So I'm thinking that they had a discussion amongst themselves, and they're like, "Yeah, Ray's never getting laid. That's not an issue.
It's not gonna happen.
Never.
Well,
It'll
you weren't a
never happen."
competitive male gymnast, so that's all I have to say.
That's true. That's true. All right, stoner thoughts.
Whoa.
Finding out that stripper poles actually spin and not the dancers is like the adult version of finding out Santa Claus isn't
Wait,
real.
that's not real. This isn't happening.
I don't know if it's. I don't know how accurate it is. I think there's some truth to it. I don't know how many stripper poles spin. I feel like you could have just a stripper pole, right?
There's no way a stripper pole spins, and I'll tell you why. Because they climb up that thing. And if that thing was swirling when that happened, that would be so much harder than to climb up it when it was stable.
Maybe it's a slow spin.
Maybe that. But you would be able to, maybe it's a slow spin.
I mean, I don't know. I don't frequent the strip clubs.
I mean, I've been to my fair share.
Sure.
But I could believe that maybe they spin slowly, but they spin faster than that anyway. So I don't know. I think those women are actually really fucking talented, to be honest. Some of them, like in Vegas and stuff, it's almost like a Cirque du Soleil show.
Yeah.
It's like very
It's like acrobatic
and
yeah.
stuff.
I feel like they should grease that pole just for laughs.
Jeez.
Just watch them slip.
You would get so injured. You'd fall and break. I mean,
That's the point.
They're already. You're so mean.
I know.
They're already doing gymnastics in like platform shoes, which is ridiculous. I never understood why. Like every time I see a stripper and they take off their shoes, I'm like, thank God. Like, why are you wearing these giant shoes?
It's an aesthetic thing that makes you look thinner because it evens out your posture. I was like read about this. So it evens out your posture and your stomach doesn't like curl as much as when you're walking flat. That's why that's why hookers wear high heels, and women who go out to club wear high heels.
But don't they realize that guys who are 6'5" don't really need that? You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a stripper if you're 6'5".
Yeah, but
the guys who are wanting strippers are like short dudes.
Yeah, no, I get it, but it's not about height. It's about evening your body out. It's about your posture.
Huh.
Read about it. It's a whole thing anyway.
Is that high heels, or are you talking specifically stripper shoes?
No, I'm talking about high heels.
Yeah, I know
high heels
like, make your butt look nice and all that stuff.
Right, they make your butt stick out, make your back straight.
I get
your
that.
stomach flat.
But this is like it's like this. It's like that's
right. You're talking about like the
ridiculous
on top of underneath the high heels. There's like platforms.
Yeah, there's like goldfish in there and shit.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why they do that, but yeah, of course, like the short bald guys are the ones.
Yeah,
who they're trying to impress, which you don't need that much to impress.
Not that difficult.
All right, stoner thoughts. That was a good one.
Whoa.
Dogs in movies don't even know they're in a movie.
Here's a pro tip: if you're a dog in the lead role of a movie, it's not going to work out very well for you.
Oh no, it's not, is it?
It's not going to work out for you. If you land the lead in a dog movie, your end is in sight.
Oh, how about this? If you're a parent of a superhero,
yeah,
your time is probably limited.
Yeah, especially if you're an uncle.
Yeah, an uncle. Yeah, I was gonna say a mom, a dad, anyone.
Yeah. You're gonna be kidnapped very soon.
Well, I was gonna say you're gonna die.
Yeah,
because parents always die. Stoner thoughts. How annoying is that?
This is awful.
Maybe ghosts do exist, but they're all out exploring jungles or mountains instead of haunting people in boring houses.
I could buy that.
That's what I would do.
What if they're under the water?
I was thinking that this morning. That's where I would go. Deep where no one has been, or I'd go up in the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Go out on the moon because you're a ghost. You
don't have to breathe.
Go into a volcano. That'd be cool. Help out with some research.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get the concept behind ghosts, and I don't understand why they would like just float around one house.
I think it's about conflict. I think it's about like whether or not your soul can rest, and what was the source of that conflict keeping you in that place.
Okay, so if you were a terrible person, maybe you don't want your soul to rest.
Maybe not.
And you're like, this is keeping me from going to hell.
Maybe not. Like if my soul was out of unrest, I would just be haunting the 405 forever. It would just be me on the 405, the shoulder. It's like, this was the source of all my stress.
Get out.
Yeah. Craziness.
Yeah, I would have a lot of fun as a ghost.
Yeah. It would be like, what's that Kevin Bacon Invisible Man movie? You would just be like peeping Tom on everybody.
Well, I'm not I'm not saying I would break any of those kinds of
I
laws.
mean, would you really stop yourself if you're a ghost? You're like, "Ooh, I better not look. I'm a ghost."
I don't know. Well, maybe, but I wouldn't necessarily seek it out. I don't
Yeah.
even know if a ghost can get a boner.
I don't know. They probably can. I mean, but if they can't, that's hell. That would be awful. You could see anything you want and never be like like held accountable for it, but no turn on at all. Awful. I
Y
would show up and see who came to my funeral though. See who gave a good speech.
And then haunt the ones who didn't?
Yeah. The
You
hell
jerk.
you jerk. We
Oh
were
my
supposed to
god.
be friends.
Oh my god.
Stoner
Alright, well, that was
thoughts.
Stoner Thoughts.
I was early. Oh, it's
Yeah,
over.
yeah, no, we did 5 or 6. Did
Gotcha, cool.
you wanted me to talk about the
Oh, yeah.
Facebook thing, the Facebook algorithm thing,
Yeah. So
which I didn't wanna talk about.
Oh, I'm gonna pry you.
Go ahead.
So we talk about like we want to maybe do a segment on this channel, this show where we talk about influencer stuff because that's what we have a value to add on. We know a little bit about that stuff. Hopefully it's not boring. I don't think it's boring. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So Ray happens to know a shitload about the Facebook thing. So apparently Facebook has just changed its algorithm to favor different type of content that you've been making
Mhm.
over the last couple years. Now you started making that kind of content because they changed it a while back to favor that stuff.
Yes.
So walk us through that. What were you making originally?
Alright. So, I didn't wanna talk about, this. I shied away from it because it's a little technical and it's a little nerdy, and I was worried it might bore you guys out there in audience land, but if you wanna hear me talk about it,
I do.
the stuff that goes through my mind, well, you do because 'cause you're also an influencer, but alright. So, at some point in my life, I wanted to make short form comedy in the form of sketch,
Right.
right? Now, a sketch is on the internet, and we're not talking about vines here. We're talking about something with like 3 beats. It's anywhere from 1 minute to like 3 minutes long.
Sure.
Now, on YouTube, the algorithms don't favor things that are shorter
Yeah.
as much as other platforms do because each platform has its own algorithm. And if I were advising an influencer, I would say, like, cater to what your audience wants, about 50%, and the other 50% cater to what the algorithm is gonna favor, right? Like because certain videos belong on certain platforms. You wouldn't put a podcast on Snapchat; it wouldn't work,
Right.
right? So what I realized is that putting sketch on YouTube is not the best place for it if you just like want it to go viral. If you're
Yeah.
not Saturday Night Live with a huge budget, and a huge marketing and all that stuff.
YouTube is less about sharing now and more about time watched. What they're favoring is how long does someone stay on your channel, on your content, and staying on YouTube in general.
Yes.
So if you make longer videos, say you make a 10-minute video and they watch 8 minutes of it, because they were on your channel for 8 minutes versus if they watched your sketch for 2 minutes and then watched somebody else's sketch,
Right.
they're going to favor the channel that keeps you in one place for the longest amount. So then they're going to put more of that feed into their feed
Yes.
versus your shit.
And that's why you see people suddenly making a lot of podcasts and putting them on YouTube,
Right.
and they make
Kings of influence.
they make like a lot of gamers make videos because you can make those videos really, really long,
And really
just
cheap.
and really, really cheap. Now, the other thing about making longer content, say a 10-minute video or whatever, if you had the ability to make a 10-minute sketch, that costs 10 times as much to make a 10-minute sketch than it does like a 1-minute sketch. So
And-
your cost goes way
yeah.
up with that too.
And a 10-minute sketch is not funny. I mean, to be honest, like that's a 10-minute sketch is too long.
Right.
It's too long.
Yeah,
That's a short film.
exactly. So anyway, around that time, Facebook video was really blowing up, and I started looking at it and looking at their algorithms, and I was like, oh, Facebook's favoring shorter videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's favoring stuff you can share. It's that platform is more about the actual video itself than about the influencer who made it or the time watched or anything like that, or the schedule that you put it out. It's like, can you make something that people are going to like, identify with, and share to their followers, and then those people share it to their followers, and then it goes viral. It's a
Right.
really cool place. Like, dumb cat videos thrive
Yeah.
on Facebook
Yeah.
now, and they don't on YouTube like they used to.
Yeah.
So I start making sketch and putting it on Facebook about 3 years ago, and I mean, they were, like, blowing up, they were getting shared, I was getting more engagement, more, like, viewership than I had ever gotten, and then they monetized, and then so, suddenly, like, I was making a all this money from this stream of income and everything, and I mean, it was great, and it was a good time, and then every, like, 6 to 10 months, every platform changes their algorithm. Sometimes it's minor changes, and sometimes it's major changes.
Yeah.
So, this past June, Facebook had made a major algorithm change.
Wow. How
I think
now?
it was
How do
June
you know?
1st.
How do you become aware of that?
So, you usually they announce it. Usually, they're like, "We made a change." But you also can see it because you're putting out a video expecting a certain result,
And it's
and
just
then
not
you go,
hitting that.
"Wow, this absolutely tanked. Okay, maybe it was a bad video," and you put another one out. You're like, "That tanked," and you put out a third one, and you're like, "What the hell?" And then you start asking the other influencers and reading about it, and you're like, "Oh, there was a major algorithm change."
Yeah.
So Facebook is starting to favor like time watched and some other things. Me and my influencer friends, we're still trying to figure out what that algorithm is, but they're certainly not favoring sketch, or at least my type of sketch, like they were
Right.
in the past. So that caused me to be like, okay, well, what am I going to make now? It puts me in a tough spot because I have millions of followers there who are like, we love your
Yeah.
sketch.
They're
And I'm like,
expecting a certain
yeah.
thing.
And I'm like, that's great. But you're not going to get them in your feed like you used to because Facebook's not favoring that stuff, even if I make them. Plus, views is tied to money and money's tied to funding,
Yeah.
whatever the hell you're making.
So they're favoring longer
Like
content, or they're
longer
favoring watch
content,
time.
both. Longer content that's watched, and sketches are like they're just not designed for that usually. Like,
Yeah.
usually you get through the first beat of a sketch and you're like, I get it. I
Yeah.
watched 45 seconds, I get the joke, great, and then you move on.
Yeah. I tell you what I watch on Facebook. I watch UFC fights on Facebook.
There you go.
I just, and the more I watch, the more they pop up in my feed, and they know what to feed me. And
Yeah.
I don't know why I go there instead of YouTube, but
That's interesting.
YouTube is, I don't have to subscribe to anything on Facebook in order to get those things. I just have to watch them, and then
Okay.
they pop up. So I don't know. I'll watch YouTube sometimes, but Facebook is getting better and smarter at delivering to me the stuff that I actually want to see.
The discovery on Facebook is fantastic because it all
Yeah.
just shows up in your feed based on what you watch.
Yeah.
Whereas YouTube, it's a little bit more about scheduling. Like I said, it's more about who the influencer is, who's putting it out.
Right.
Facebook, it's like, do people want to see this video in particular?
Right.
Do strangers who get this video in their feed when other people share it, do they want to see it?
Yeah.
And if the answer is like, yeah, they'll stop and watch it, it looks enticing, then that video is going to blow up. And that's why I had so much fun making sketches, because I didn't have to adhere to any format
Right.
or anything like that. It was just like, well, if I want to make one about, how dogs aren't as loyal as you think they are, it's like, all right, well, then that's what I'll make, and it'll go viral or it won't.
So what do you think you're going to pivot to?
So when you have to pivot, and I've had to pivot before, it happens. Usually you have to experiment for a little while.
Yeah.
And you've got, you and I have been around long enough. You have an audience who will like watch your stuff and they'll give you feedback.
Yeah.
So I'm experimenting on Facebook now. I'm like, okay, I'll do kind of this style and see if the audience likes it. And if the algorithm picks it up, I'll do this style. Excuse me. And what I'm leaning towards is me getting back into talking to the camera more, because that seems to hold people's attention a little better.
Mhm.
And I'm trying out like they're like funny. I've just made a couple of them, and it's almost like stand up with the laughter cut out,
Okay.
like with the audience laughter cut out. But I go to a topic and I rant about it, and then I inject a little bit of heart into it, like, well, the lesson to be learned. Like I did one that did it got like 1 million views the other day, and which is good for something like new that you're trying out.
Yeah. What was
And
it
it was
about?
like 10 things that happen in your 30s.
Right.
And I talk about things that would happen in your 30s, like, oh, you'll find that you only have 2 friends. And some of them were funny, and some of them were like, you'll start to appreciate your parents more as human beings.
Yeah.
Some of them were real. And it was a nice mix, and people really liked it on Facebook, and they shared it a lot, and it blew up, and it made me go, okay, I should maybe look into going in this direction. of these sort of stand up rants.
Hmm.
But it's absolutely forcing me to change my content
Well,
just in the immediate, and it's like scary but like fun.
yeah, I mean, I imagine it keeps you doing new creative things. For I know how hard it is to write stuff, and writing a sketch every week or 2 weeks, and then shooting it, like, that would get difficult for me.
Dude, I was doing 2 a week at one
Yeah, that would
point.
be
It's
difficult.
crazy.
And but at the same time, writing a rant every week would also be very difficult.
Yeah, it's also.
I mean, are you gonna try and memorize that, or just like outline it and then go?
Oh, when I rant to the camera?
Yeah,
No, I memorize it in, like, chunks, and then, you just do the jump cut thing. We're
sure.
we're in the world now where people don't mind if there's a few in fact, they
Yeah,
probably prefer the jump cuts
yeah,
because it keeps the pace.
yeah.
Because listening like, online pace is quicker than pace in real life. You'll
Oh
you'll
yeah,
listen to a slow talker in real life if they're saying interesting stuff. Online, it's like, "Alright, get to the
keep
point,
moving.
keep it moving."
Yeah. Well, wow. I mean, I think that's really interesting, because we almost do the other thing where we just don't change no matter what. We just keep on doing the same thing. We definitely see dips in views here and there, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden something will fly up or something. We do have a little bit of the cushion of the characters that we use all of a sudden might get popular again, or people recognize them, and that helps. But I've that would be like, I don't know what we would do if we had to change. You know what I mean? I'm hoping in the next couple years, as the rap battles becomes a very steady thing, and we'll be able to branch Umbrella out a little bit and introduce new little series here and there to the
yeah,
audience. And because right now, if we do anything other than rap battles, a lot of people get pissed. But as long as we keep making the rap battles consistently, they're much more tolerant to new stuff.
right.
But like when we stop for a while, and then like on my channel, if I don't do like a diss raps for hire, people kind of unsubscribe when I put up another video because they're like, I came here for this. I don't want to. It's not like they're not like being dicks. It's like, I came to the meat store and you're giving me a salad. I don't want a salad. I'm leaving the meat store
The
because the
meat
Epic Lord
store.
channel is the meat store.
Right.
But yeah, that's interesting. I think that's fascinating, man. I think that's I want to hear more about that. Like, I think it's also really cool that you have an audience that's large enough that you can do like R&D with yourself,
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, I know this landscape. I can sense, it's almost like your ship. You know what I mean? Like you can sense when, okay, a million views for me normally not great, but with a new concept in this new thing, that's like fertile
Right.
soil there.
And you have to, like, look at other things, like, not just views, but, like, engagement and that kinda stuff too. Like, it
Yeah,
it all factors in, like, not only does it have over 1,000,000 views pretty quick, but, like, a lot of people are actively
commenting.
commenting, which means that they're engaged and
Yeah,
they're actually watching it,
yeah.
which is kinda what you want.
Yeah. I mean, that's great, and I feel like for me as a consumer on Facebook, I'm definitely more apt to click on something that has a framework around it, like you said, 10 things in your 30s, or
Yeah,
like concepts. Like if it's always 10 things, 10 things, 10 things, that gets a little bit old for me. But like I need a hook in
right.
terms of what the person is talking about, or else it's tougher for me to click on it. So yeah,
Yeah, and at some point, I don't really focus on YouTube now
yeah,
or really Twitch or anything. But at some point, if I wanted to make something that would serve those algorithms on YouTube or Twitch, I would totally just try and go there as well.
repurpose it. Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
not repurpose it, but make something for that platform because I
Why
believe
not
in
just,
making the thing for the platform.
huh?
You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's just gonna get buried.
Hmm.
Like I said, podcast on Snapchat. Why bother?
Right. But if you made a video that worked, that was an 8-minute video that worked for long term views on Facebook, and probably would work on YouTube. You could probably just post it twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally make an 8-minute video for Facebook quite yet. I
Right.
don't think Facebook's quite ready for that.
Right.
I think the audience would check out a little early. I would make it like 4.5.
Right.
Again, I'm experimenting with whatever this new algorithm is, and
Mm.
but it's an interesting thing because like when I make sketches, I don't make those all by myself. You have to have other people on set, and
Yeah.
they're all employed, and now I have to be like, all right, everything's changing, so I
Need
might
the
not be doing sketches. I might not need you.
Yeah.
They're not my full-time employees. They're people who
But
have other
it's a
gigs, and
workforce.
it's a gig. They have other stuff going on. I'm like, "Hey, you wanna work this weekend?" They're like, "Cool."
Well, maybe though, hopefully if the new stuff is good in terms of money,
Mhm.
then you can employ people in a different. You can employ more editors, so you can chop them up faster, or
Yeah.
you'll employ a different sound people or whatever. That's something I think people don't realize about a lot of content creators is that they're not doing it by themselves, and you have a lot of there's like a blue collar artistic community that works. And if you make a change to YouTube or you make a change to something, it affects a lot of people. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you have a Reagan hat on. It's like trickle down. You know what I mean? It really does. Like if there's no work to be had, then there's no work.
This hat is a prop. A Reagan Bush 84 was a prop for a sketch.
So funny. Trickle down economics is real on the internet, team.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for talking about that. I think that's interesting. We're going to try to do an
Of course.
influencer segment as much as we can.
Go
I
into
think
it
it's
more.
interesting for us.
Yeah, I think about this stuff all. It's funny. I think about this stuff all the time, but I never talk about it in my work because it feels like too inside baseball, or maybe people don't care so much about the algorithm. But it's amazing how much that factors in to whatever an influencer is making.
Yeah.
Is this algorithm that you can't control that changes every 6 months to a year? Sometimes it's major changes, sometimes it's big changes. And you as a content creator, you always have to keep that in mind. But at the same time, like you don't want to chase the algorithm because you'll always be one step behind. That's this whole other thing.
I feel like there's always sort of been an algorithm, and it used to just be like Nielsen polls. And now, because I'm sure there's an algorithm on Netflix, like what's popping up in my Netflix feed. What are
Yeah.
people? You watch Netflix and you see all these hits or whatever, but there's a lot of shows that don't do shit on Netflix.
Right.
They come and they go, and you never even heard of them before, which is maybe why they're suffering right now. But there's no more turning back from whatever that algorithm thing is of like whatever is gonna get you to stay watching Amazon Prime. That's what's coming.
That's what they're gonna put in
That's
front
what
of
they're
your
gonna
face.
feature on your phone.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a way of life now for a content creator. And I remember back in my day, I remember back when no one even knew what that word meant in terms of creating content and how it affected content, and no one ever thought about it, including me. It was like the sentiment used to be, hey, you make something good, it'll go viral.
Yeah.
And that is not the case now. Now it's like you have to make something that hits the audience you're trying to hit and hit the algorithm that of the platform you're posting it on.
Yeah.
It's very, very complicated.
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of rough. There's advice about becoming a content creator. The more and more it happens, the more I'm like, I don't know.
You don't know how to do it.
It's just like, I mean, that's the only thing I can ever say is just like try to make something that you love making so that you don't get sick of making it, because there's going to be a ton of challenges. And if you don't like doing it, the first thing that's going to go is your willingness to do it well.
That's exactly what my advice to a new content creator would be.
Yeah.
Is like, first of all, figure out what you enjoy making first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to drive you nuts trying to make what everyone else likes and what the freaking algorithm is going to eat up.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to drive you insane. Make what you like to make and then see what parts of that attract people.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you're like, oh, I make this kind of video, but I also tell jokes in it and people only like your jokes. Well, then that's something you should focus on if you enjoy making jokes.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of whittle it down from there. Figure out what you're good at. That's it. Because I get asked that stuff all the time, and I don't know what to say half the time to new content creators other than like, work hard, make what you want to make.
Yeah.
Because
do scam rap.
Scam rap. There you go. Sitting someone down and having an algorithm discussion with them when they don't even know what kind of content they want to make is just not the way to go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, good talks.
But yeah, we should get off here. Maybe we'll do another talk maybe next week about something.
If there's something you guys want to know that's sort of
influencer related,
let us know in the comments, and we'll if we have something to say about it, we will.
Right. If it's not too I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe even if it is technical, maybe people will like it.
Maybe.
But I can talk about that shit all day. All right, guys. Love you. We'll see you in the chat.
Thanks, guys.
Let's pretend that the music is playing.
Yeah, right.
Stupid thing. Woo! Who's in the chat?
What's up, chat? It's not too hot in here today.
What's up, chat?
Nice.
Yeah, it's better.
Talk. New streamlined. They got a new streamlined live control room. Is new way to go live. Interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to go check that out.
They got a new live room on the back end. They got a new back end, everybody, which is what you get when you turn 45 in Los Angeles.
A new back end? Hey! Fake
Oh,
ass.
cool. Thanks, BBN. Glad you enjoyed the discussion. Yeah, we were talking about Gary V said something today. Was like, what kind of value do you add to the by the podcast? And we're like, well, we might as well talk about what we know a little bit. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, but I think it's interesting we have an interesting perspective on it, so it'd be cool to talk about it. What's up, Helmy?
Help me.
What's up, Aaron Dangerfield?
Aaron asked what's opinion on Instagram moving likes. We talked about that like twice. Not
Yeah.
that I want to discourage you from asking the question, and I think we agreed that it was a good thing. I don't care about Instagram likes. I don't think anyone else should.
Yeah,
Of all social media, that's the thing I care about the least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they've done. I think they rolled it out in Canada. I'm not sure if they rolled it out here yet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to hurt influencers.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make it harder for them to make money.
Yeah, but you'll still be able to see your likes on the back end. Anyway.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Other people seeing lots of likes influences whether you like something or not, because people are sheep.
That's true.
You know.
That's
so
true.
If there's no likes, people won't be inspired to like it, and it'll just fall off. I think they'll change it back.
You think so?
Yeah. What do you think about remaking movies like Pulp Fiction? I don't think you can remake a Tarantino movie. I
No,
think there's some sort of law.
That's more of an art piece that
Yeah.
it feels weird to remake. I would
Only
say
if he remade it.
Also, go for the franchise. Like I said, if you're going to invest in a remake or reboot, focus on the franchise. That's where you're going to make your money back.
I wonder if the studio has that power, though. Imagine if the studio had the power to remake Pulp Fiction and Quentin Tarantino didn't want it to be done, and he just had to watch them wipe their ass with his masterpiece. That would be awful.
And it's like starring Taylor Swift and some other.
Awful. How much would the shake cost now?
I'd be like a $15 shake.
Yeah,
$15
shake, maybe more, maybe 20.
Yeah,
$20 shake.
You couldn't drop the N word in the new version.
Not sure. Not sure. Might be able to. Don't know.
See, but in this fictional remake, it's got to be like Disney who remakes it.
Oh God, yeah, God, that would just be Quentin Tarantino's nightmare.
Yeah.
Scenario. Wow. Holy Pog, my favorite stream of the week. Oh, thanks, man.
Hey.
Holy Pog. I like
Holy
that.
Pog.
Hey guys, what do you think about Instagram movement? Like we just talked about that.
We just talked about it. It'd be the fourth time we talked about it.
Yeah. Watching from Phoenix. Hopefully it's not too hot there, Trevor.
Yeah, it's super hot in
So
Phoenix. Hot. I did a show in Phoenix, and driving in, I was like, wow.
What's happening here?
Are we in hell?
Oh, hell is Phoenix.
Great crowd, though. Yeah, hell is basically Phoenix.
There's a good improv theater in Phoenix, too. And a really good stand-up club. Jesus, I can't remember the name of it now. Can't be that good. Anyway, good comic strip or... Anyway, there's good comedy scene in Phoenix, is my point.
Okay.
$5 shake isn't looking so expensive anymore. No, $5 shake would be... You can get that at McDonald's right now.
Yeah.
Crying out loud. I got an ice cream cone. 2 tiny scoops, $6 the other day.
Wow.
Awful. I mean, it was good, but it's like, come on, man. I'm not that guy yet, but I'm gonna be that guy soon.
Yeah, I could tell.
Where you go, hey, man, quit skimping on the peanut butter ice cream there, man. Come on. What's going on? That's totally mortifying when my dad would do that when I was a kid, but now I totally get it.
You should have kids just so you can embarrass them like that.
Yeah. What are you doing? Get in there. Use some elbow grease.
Opinions on YouTubers organizing another boxing fight, KSI vs. Logan Paul. Those are two guys that fought before.
I think it's already in the making, right? Isn't it already? I think I saw it already.
I think so. I think he just wants to know what we think of it. I mean,
brilliant.
I guess that's the hustle. Do whatever you can to get attention, and they're okay with boxing each other for that and the antics of it all. I mean, antics really are how you get attention on the internet these days.
Yeah.
And I guess they're just playing right into it. I mean, they're
those two guys.
What do you call it? Yeah, they're playing the game, I guess you would say.
It might be shifting a little bit. I will say Conor McGregor got his ass whooped by Khabib.
Okay.
Nurmagomedov. And Conor McGregor was like the king of talking trash.
Okay.
Him and Mayweather, that's why it worked so well. I mean, who knows about the money? KSI and Logan Paul, it was a draw last time. So that's why they're doing this. But Khabib just fought Justin Poirier for the UFC title in Dubai, and it was the opposite. They were both super gracious to one another. When Khabib won, he like took Poirier's shirt that he was using as like a merch thing for charity and like put it on and was like, all props to him. I'm gonna sell these shirts. I'm gonna sell them on behalf of Poirier. It was like a very good spirited, and it was packed, unbelievable packed.
Yeah.
And so that sentiment might be changing a little bit. I hope it does, because I always liked it more when it was like honorable warriors fighting, you know? So I don't know if Logan Paul has that in him to do. They were pretty gracious after the fight, though, I will say. But I don't think they can make it be a tie again. Like, someone's gonna have to win.
Yeah, I'm more interested in how they played the game, the influencer
Yeah.
game by leveraging their antics.
Yeah. That
Uh,
it got to be that big.
yeah, and it got to be pretty big. Like, so I salute them for doing that. But yeah, my question, maybe that'll last forever. My question is, how long will stuff like that last? It's not my favorite thing to see. I mean, I like to see hustle. I don't like to see people fight online. I think it's
Especially when they're not trained.
silly. Not a fist, not like box. I'd rather see them box than talk trash to
Oh,
each other
yeah.
and film vlogs about it
Yeah.
and all that stuff. It feels so high school
Yeah.
to me.
Well, what I'm always surprised about is that KSI is bigger than Logan Paul. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe because he's from the UK and he's bigger there or whatever, but like he's consistently got a bigger channel than Logan Paul. So
Yeah, I
I
don't.
didn't know about him before this. I guess but I know about him now. You know what I mean? And that was the biggest live event that YouTube ever live streamed. But I mean, I think they've done the World Series and stuff now, so those had to have been bigger. But it was a very successful event for them.
Well,
Yeah,
no, oh, go ahead.
yeah, that's
Oh, not that who I have heard of matters, but like I've heard of Logan Paul. I'd never heard of KSI,
yeah, me
and
neither.
forgot until that comment brought it up. No offense to the gentleman. I'm sure he's a nice guy and all
Right.
that, but like I don't really follow influencers all
Right.
that much.
This guy BBN says they're
Other
not using head guards this time. Oh, so
Interesting.
last time they had those head guards, and now they're just going to use regular. Let there be blood.
Oh wow. All right.
Wow, they're going to get fucked up. Tony Ferguson, his boss, he's going to DT Khabib. I don't know, man. We'll see. Khabib is a beast.
Kebab. He called him kebab.
Kebab.
Maybe that was an autocorrect
Yeah.
thing. That's funny.
What's bye Khabib. Let's just have Epic Lloyd fight Nice Peter. That would be a very quick fight. No YouTubers from the undercard. No YouTubers for the undercard. Are there other undercards? So it's like because like Jake Paul fought last time.
Oh yeah.
Are they
you
going to
told me
have
that.
actual fighters? That would be a bad move. You don't want to see real fighters and then Logan Paul and KSI. That would be silly. They would look so ridiculous.
I imagine.
That would be fun. Well, we'll certainly cover it here, I'm sure.
You think so?
Why not?
Well, you'll have to watch because
Why not?
I don't care. So I won't watch it, but maybe you'll watch it.
Yeah.
If you watch it, well, you can tell me about it.
Sounds good.
I'm not gonna watch two internet personalities fist fight. Like,
Grace Helbig versus Memory Hart.
see, I don't even get those references, so I
You don't know Grace Helbig?
assume that'll be a big fight.
No.
A big fight. I mean, if you showed me a picture, maybe I would.
Well, they used to do this is not a new thing. Like back in the day, they had these fights and they did like it was Dustin Diamond fought against the guy who was in Welcome Back Kotter.
Oh, Screeched. Yeah. Okay.
And they fought and it was real pathetic because the difference was these were guys at the very end of their careers.
Yeah.
And these guys are at the top of their careers right
Okay.
now, you know what I mean? So it was sad back then, but I don't know. Kale, we didn't have the text today because we
ran out of credits.
We ran out of credits, so we got a little bit too big for our britches.
We only have so many credits per month, and we used them all because our text pool has gotten bigger.
But we're gonna try to which is great. So we're gonna try to do it again. If you guys haven't subscribed or shared the channel, please do, and also hit that. One thing that I've been discovering is hit that bell button. That is a big thing in terms of like when you know we're going live. So that's good. Anyway, we probably should jump off here.
Yeah, let's jump off.
Thank you guys very much. As always, we'll see you next Wednesday.
All right, guys. Love you.